It is raining on the deck of the Misfit. Airship seized from a terrorist group known as Vox. Foggy. Only a few intermittent lanterns be seen through this smog. On the decks of this airship, huddled, hold the various lives that you have saved. A couple hundred people crammed together. And it's going to be a while before you reach Earth-5. Can't even see its lights through this dense fog. But Anu's confident in her direction. Need but head south. Stereo weaves her way in the groups, talking with little throngs of them for about 10-15 minutes at a time. She's friendly and able to put people at ease in a way that just seems natural. Those that are stuck standing on the top deck, she ends up spending most of the time with. Rain pours down upon them. They seem to be laughing. There's a general atmosphere of nervous adrenaline, excitement amongst those presents she leaves behind. They're left feeling like they've conquered something together. She makes her way down below deck. For the rest of the trip, people will hear the sound of music.
So it would be kind of down there as well, just kind of around.
People down here have sat down on the floor and are laid out on top of their coats and jackets and sitting up on top of the crates and barrels. One of these girls, she's sat down as well and is playing her guitar. People here, they're all cold and tired. They're able to rest. Above, she left them with an energy of having conquered things to keep their spirits going, as they would be unlikely they'd be getting much rest standing in the rain. It takes about an hour for you guys to reach, but you can find each other and talk with anybody you would like within that hour's time frame.
Bebet would go find Arthur. And she'd just kind of stare at him for a second.
Standing up on the stern of the ship, facing out behind you in the direction where the casino had been, but now it's just swirling fog out 5 feet behind you, and nothing. Raining. Doesn't seem to notice.
It's an interesting face you have there, Arthur. Is it your only one?
Just,
I mean, that's not an answer, but
I wasn't certain that was actually a question.
what did you say to me the first time that we met?
Looks at you. You have every reason not to trust me. Fucked up.
It's not that you fucked up that I don't trust. It's what you are that I don't trust.
But I am. What do you mean?
What was the first thing that you said to me when we met?
I don't remember. Probably wasn't nice.
You're not making a good case for here.
I don't remember everything I say to everybody.
Not that you say much.
Listen. I am who I am. Now, I don't know how to prove that. But maybe through process of elimination. I were maintaining a disguise would require me to concentrate. And unless I was like you.
And you're not.
Not like you.
See, I'm finding that difficult to believe.
I'll prove it.
Babette just raises her eyebrows like, okay. I don't know how you're gonna do that.
Looks past you. And the back portion of the ship, there isn't really anybody here. And yeah, might take a step back.
Babette cautiously takes a step back, kind of hand on weapon.
I used my last potion, but kind of hurts. You won't need that. It's just a lot of burning light.
This is mostly for my
I
own
don't
peace
want
of
you to
mind.
get freaked out. He turns and he looks away from you, up over the canister. He is going to lower his head. You can just hear the rain pouring across his shoulders. Then he takes in a deep breath. He kind of just lifts his head up. Rain hits across his face, and he opens his eyes. And all of a sudden, you see as his shoulders twist in, and with this gust of wind, rain flame splashes away from him. As these skeletal wings, rotten, feathers falling off of them, spread out from across his back. He looks to the side, and there's like a couple of moments of blinking and confusion, and you see as he brings his arms back together and they disappear. Turns and looks at you. Not like you.
I definitely can't do that, so...
He's
We're
not
gonna
even
unpack.
looking at you now.
Yeah, we're gonna unpack that another time, though.
And he walks past. He goes to find Hanu and gets an estimate of, you know, how long it'll take to get. I don't know what you would be like, 45 minutes or so. And
Okay, when you said he brought the wings out, you said he looked back at them and touched them?
no, he looked back at them and looked a little startled or a little off-put by them, perhaps. It was hard to tell. The expression's hard to read.
Yeah, I know. She would have wanted to know if that was startled, these aren't what they're supposed to be, or startled, like,
Give
fuck, I
me an
hate these
insight
things.
check.
Right.
24.
Based off the fact that he had said something about burning light, and you saw no light, and then you saw his expression at that, it seemed to definitely not be what he was expecting. At the same time, he didn't address it at all, so you're uncertain. Even though it was something he wasn't expecting, it doesn't seem to be entirely surprising to him for some reason. And it definitely wasn't what he had described.
Yeah. Okay.
To use the Necrotic Shroud, would Babette have to make a saving throw for that?
She did step
You weren't
away.
near it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, I've been going back and forth right now.
Yeah, you weren't near it. It was just him and Babette in the back. And so nobody else was around for that.
Okay.
Afterwards, he left from that and went and sought you out, asked how long it was going to take. And it was about 45 minutes till you guys all arrived there now.
At this point, she would have casted light on her trident, and then light on some other places nearby, so there's a better visual for people, especially since it's getting like nighttime or approaching dusk. So
And then Babette would have given Arthur a moment, and given herself a moment, and then she would have followed him and then kind of gathered him and Hanu, and if Zale was around, which he's not, she would gather Zale and kind of give them the lowdown of what she heard while she was by the engine.
okay.
Alright.
She'll nod to that. Oh, what? Did they sound like they were local?
Sounded like Zale.
Zale, but a dickhead.
Not like Zale.
I mean, an intentional dickhead.
Hear that, Zale? Embrace your destiny.
He's not with him.
He, the
Unless you
engineer.
went down there to get him, he's still like by Wisteria.
No, that's what she just said, is that
Oh,
she went
okay.
and gathered everybody.
Gotcha. Yeah. Still just kind of looks at Arthur and hugs.
Mm.
I think they were an elf. They had a changeling with them. They were very clearly not part of the movement, but hirelings.
Did this say anything particularly interesting? To get kind of what his accent was like?
um,
Did I?
I think trying to figure out what elf it could be is not the right path. I mean, trying to find a person amongst a bunch of people, it could take years.
I mean, you know
You don't
his,
even know where to start.
you know his voice though. Mind
So
shift.
what? That'll narrow us down to, at best case scenario, an entire city we have to comb through.
Mm-hmm.
And or an entire country. However, that bomb, that machine, anybody that can work on that, that's got to be a limited amount of people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
From
too
what I've-
sure how things are in the mainland, but do they like keep a record of everybody who has such high capabilities? I mean, there has to be at least a
Honey,
payroll.
From what I saw on that thing, and I looked at Arthur, which I think you have more knowledge as you've been spouting on what that is from the future. Because what I looked at was way too advanced for what anybody in this in this present day could make. Or even
He
imagine.
did look
That's
incredibly
because
lost
it's
when
not
he saw
from
it.
the present day. It's not even a bomb.
Yeah, I guessed that someone jury rigged it. I don't know what.
Didn't have to jerry rig it. It's missing parts.
So they broke it specifically.
Nope, they broke into natural bomb, basically. It would disorient to a point where have a basically a melting point and explode.
That's the thing, though. Vox had to trust somebody to get the job done. This person must
They
be
didn't
esteemed.
trust him.
At least
They
know
were
he has the
terrified of him.
Yeah, they have capabilities. I mean, you could be terrified of somebody because they just have a
Mm.
bunch of knowledge that you can't comprehend.
What was it, Arthur?
The machine.
Was it?
Time machine.
I figured, actually. I was afraid to say that out loud.
Wait. So you're telling me that was?
That's the machine that you, me, and the other you guys traveled through time in.
Yeah.
It's missing its control module. The control module has 5 parts. Without the control module, it's gonna melt down every time. They didn't have to jerry rig it. It's just the way it works. Can't start it without the control module.
Yeah.
Babette leans back on the railing and just is like, fucking time travel.
You know what? I should probably just say these things out, but I'm always afraid that when I do, that they'll come true, so it's like, in the point, I don't need to say it, because it's already true. Being a seer is really weird.
That's what.
She'll lean
That's
back
one of
too,
the
before
properties.
we're, like, moving her shoulders around and cracking her neck and just refocus on the path ahead.
So that's why it's been somewhat like if I was to study it longer, I wouldn't get it since I made it. Other than me made it.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't make that thing.
I made it.
Way.
I worked on it. Who made it? Do you know?
Listen, this isn't really a conversation to have here.
Nope.
That's sensible.
It's not a controlled environment, and I don't have a way to see if anybody's spying on us.
Yeah, let's leave that then. Okay,
When we get back to Rosemary's, we can talk there. Her place is warded to all hell.
Is that just a place? It seems like, she just nonchalantly shrugs. It seems like a place you'd have tea a lot. Is that just a thing that, old women with tea houses have?
Who's Hanu speaking to?
I mean, it's just
Everyone.
really a very nice house.
She's just speaking out loud, just like, oh, guys. Weird, right?
I mean, she's a gnome.
Mm.
Makes sense.
So if I go to any old gnome woman's house, they'll also be warded off. Okay.
I mean, everyone I've ever met.
Well,
From what I know, that's a very unique situation.
I would
The
think
people that you've met.
I would trust people who are as paranoid as me, so I would always ensure that we would go to places that are warded off. So it's not really helping your case.
So, Alright, is there anything else?
Let's just put it this way. I will tell you, you didn't build that thing, Zale. The guy who built that, I mean, you were one of the smartest people I know, but that guy, he was so smart it scared me. He looks
So smart there wasn't room for any other emotions.
Maybe. I've heard of very intense spells that can cause people to control nature, but that was an object that did that, which tipped me off that it's either causing something to speed up, or it's creating... I'm not that smart, but I think it's creating an anchor that's causing instability in that region. But it looks like we're gonna know where one part is, so once we figure out the other 5, well, know where to go back to.
I'm starting to kind of see what Frederick was talking about. I don't know.
Speaking of which, we're supposed to go meet him tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. It sounds it's like exhausted. Yeah, that's right. Wow.
Unless there's anything else.
Is anyone gonna ask Hanu why the fuck she's here?
Hmm?
So at this
Because if no
point,
one else is...
Zell just kind of like already kind of just like, you did you, I did me. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna ask questions, and then basically he would just start walking back.
She's just
Down.
enjoying the
Yeah.
rain right now.
Yeah, that would just... She wouldn't even, like, push. She'd just be like, so you decided to take up gambling, I see.
Life is a
Oh,
gamble.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why were you there?
Well,
I know she does not gamble.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't pick up that vibe from her either, so I was a little confused to see her once I had the moment to process it.
You guys have had a bad read on me this whole time.
Preston completely knew exactly who you were, and you were hanging out with Caius.
I'm trying
You
That's
were
shady.
what?
I'm trying to reinvent myself here, guys. Maybe I want to be a risk taker. But yes, we had an old friend of yours decide to ask for a tea party.
Huh. And then you decided to have that tea party at this casino.
Oh, there was many other things involved there, which she'll look around and then look over to Babette. Seriously, what does having tea mean? If you tell me that, I'll tell you something else.
I mean, it can mean many things depending on the context.
Well, what does it mean to you? If I said, and she'll mimic Caius's voice as best as possible, you know, just tell her that, I'm here to have tea. What would that mean to you?
What would that mean to me, Chance? I have an idea,
And
but
specifically, he said, "Tell Babs that I came by seeing whether or not the man would like to have tea."
Yep,
And it was wanting to have tea with Nan, not with.
Okay, yeah. She'll say that, honestly, yeah, she'll just do that. Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean? Why does...
And you would know that means that he wanted to accept some sort of business deal with Nan about something. Which is why when she next tells you about him doing it so that he could get a favor, you would know that the favor is probably related to being able to have tea with Nan.
yeah, okay.
Have a business meeting.
So okay. That sounds like he wants advice from a very wise old woman.
Well, I could understand that if he had used, like, the front door, but he used, like, the roof entrance, which really confused me. Is that also a thing in Novel you guys do? Are there, like, doors on the roofs that you just use instead?
It's something if you're comfortable with a person, sometimes you like to invade their personal space in weird ways.
Okay, yeah. Fee didn't, did it, when Kais first showed up, did it just seem to her like this is just a normal occurrence in Nan's house? She's used to
No, it didn't really seem like it was a normal occurrence, but she seemed totally cool with it happening regardless.
Yeah.
Wow, this is super exciting, and it's happening at my house.
I know. Listen, I'm sure he's a very good friend and all, but at that moment I was just extremely overprotective of Fee because this is also her place, but she seemed to be okay with it. Okay, either way, yeah, just to know that, yep, he was, a very good parent, and that's the only thing I will say of the matter.
Babette, like, kind of takes a second, looks over at Arthur.
Listen, I mean, she's using. Listen, oh man, we leave you for 1 week, and then Hearthfine, she's saying parent, and
God,
She'll
damn it.
She'll make a pretend weep. I'm a bad influence on myself when I'm left alone, guys. Why could you do this to me?
were there any particular details about this daycare trip of yours that stand out? Anything that we might need to know about for future daycare situations?
Alright. And she'll slowly look back at Arthur. Did I ever teach you Aquin? Are you familiar with some of the phrases I would use?
I speak 10 different languages.
Okay. And then she'll slowly look back to Babette. Just pardon me for a moment, and then she'll slowly look back to Arthur and say in Aquin a phrase of, "We probably pissed off the biggest fish, the biggest shark Hearthfine has to offer, but that's because we stole from his little guppy." Who's his? Then she'll just say out loud in common, "Who's an accountant?" Though I only realized that, like, once we got to the casino itself, so I don't know if information was withheld from me, but that's, as they say, the tea.
In Thieves Can't, Babette essentially just asks, like, the fuck did she just say?
And in common, Arthur says, I'm not doing this. All the cards are going to be on the table right now. And he looks at you, Babette. Place that they robbed. The guy that ran it is an accountant for a friend of yours.
Yeah.
A friend of mine.
Would you happen to know
Right.
anybody who would, run a Coterie Coast museum?
Would I know of
You
that
wouldn't.
person?
You'd be unfamiliar
Okay.
with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll see your reaction to that, be like, so apparently this guy's boss had came back in town when we entered it, and he had such a great welcoming committee to greet him at the door.
Okay, Babette, who was leaning against the railing, just kind of slides down and sits.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
Listen. It seemed like Caius overheard
Who is this
something.
Valente guy?
Caius overheard something, and he immediately offered to help out. Just seemed like,
Did he know what he was doing?
I don't
No,
know
he
at
wouldn't.
this point.
There is no way he would have done that knowingly.
I would hope so.
He's an idiot, but he's not an idiot.
Yeah, I would hope so, Babette, but just a lot came together. Got spearheaded at the last moment. The cards all fell, and we made a very interesting reading because of that. If that makes sense. I don't know, I think that's more of a Polymanus saying. But yeah. So, I was suspicious of him, I still kind of am, but I wanted
That's
to keep
probably the smartest thing you've done.
I don't do a lot of smart things, that's true. But, yeah, thought if I kept a close eye on him, it seemed like he led me into another interesting, entangled situation.
He's the one who decided to set up your parents?
Oh,
Or was that your idea?
No, he offered.
So he was the mastermind behind the entire daycare trip.
Well, he was the one who supervised it. He just showed us the ropes. Made sure we didn't get arrested. So I don't
So it
know.
was your idea in the first place.
Oh, if it makes it any difference in the matter, and she'll look also to Arthur. Yeah, a ghost asked me to do a little favor for them, which involved repatriation of an artifact. So of course, I listened to the ghost.
Well, I mean, makes sense. So who is this Valente guy?
I wouldn't say that name very loudly. He's rather vicious, meticulous, and dangerous. You do not mess with him unless you plan on, missing a couple of limbs in the future.
Is that how he lost his
And
hand?
that's if you get off lucky.
Yeah, is that how your friend lost his hand?
Mm-hmm.
It was very
He
interesting.
seems to have managed to keep himself busy since then.
Yeah, it was very interesting that, you mentioned that he was there at your apartment. Said he narrowly got out alive. Very peculiar, it was brought up.
He actually seemed piss drunk when I met him that time. I think he was genuinely upset, but she kind of looks over at Arthur. I've been known to be wrong before.
I mean, he also smelled like he drinks a lot too, so I wouldn't be too
Yeah,
above
that's
it.
just
Yeah, that guy
his
doesn't
shtick.
drink.
Wait,
He was definitely drinking that day.
wait. You know Caius?
You can tell. No, but I could tell when I saw him. He was trying to look like he's a drunkard, but he's not. Alcohol, and he brandishes the bottle like it's a flag, but he doesn't have any of the physical symptoms of long-term alcoholism.
Yep, so I'm guessing he just caught news of what happened, and he wanted to bond with his good old buddy. But yeah, he's really good at being deceptive. I honestly doubt I could catch wind if he was lying to me this whole time or not.
Well, I'll have to have a chat with him at some point. Maybe I can set up a tea party
Okay.
and figure out exactly how much he fucked you over. And Babette just looks like fucking exhaustedly furious.
So, and when you feel more up to the task, I like knowing everything that's to offer about my enemies and potential future enemies. So if you want to exchange notes with me later of what to avoid, greatly appreciated.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can drum up.
Alrighty then.
I think at this point we should all be very aware of this Valente person and be on guard.
Oh, yes. No more finding parents in the street.
I mean, it was technically in Man's Attic, which really confused me, but yeah.
The point still stands.
Yeah. Honestly,
Buddy system.
I kind of panicked at that moment.
Except,
Because I also didn't know who this person was, if he was actually a friend of yours or was just saying that to get under my skin. You have a lot of secrets.
It's
I won't
a complicated relationship.
judge you for keeping your secrets close to the vest. I was concerned about what this would happen to you, but it looks like I ended up bringing more to the table than necessary.
Such is the way of Avale. It's just unfortunate that you and your friends have a tendency to always go big or go home.
Sorry, Arthur. I was zoned in and out for a moment, but were you saying something?
I was saying that these particular issues seem to not be ones we've brought to the table. It's a good thing we were around, but it seems to me like this Valente problem is a you issue. It has now become an us issue.
And not my own fault, might I add.
Honestly, I should have named something.
Anu had known about this relationship with Valente or with this Caius person, then things might have gone differently.
Possibly.
But at the same time, If they had gone differently, Hanu wouldn't have been there this weekend. We might not have gotten out of here alive.
True.
So, I'm not going to hold a grudge about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to point out that secrets can get us all killed.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Well,
working on it. I was raised in a cult that was all about secrets, so it's a little bit hard. I'm taking it one step at a time. Yeah, seeing the full picture greatly helps.
mhm.
But I guess in the moment of blindness, we found an answer before we even knew the question to it. So, we have to piece together, what does all of this mean with Vox? With the
Who are these Vox people, anyways?
I don't know.
And why are they trying to blow up an entire gambling casino? And with a time machine? I mean, really?
Mm,
Come on. What are the chances of that? That might have been an us thing, actually.
mm.
My audio cut out. What was it just said?
That might have been
And
an
with a
us.
time machine? Come on. What are the chances of that? What was it even doing there? That reminds me. I found something when I was gone, scouting. He looks at you guiltily, Babette, and you see as he pulls out from inside of his jacket, you can see like this sort of satchel that's slung underneath his coat, and he pulls out from it this tome that the moment you look at it makes you feel like there's something wrong with it. It is bound with some sort of fleshy leather. It looks foul.
Yeah.
He goes, and he only kind of pulls it part of the way out, too, because he's looking around at all the people that are around. And he pulls the slip open. You guys look at it, and everything about it makes it seem wrong. You feel like there's this sudden, like, whispering in your mind. Everything else gets really, really quiet for a moment, and he puts it away, and, like, the sound of the rain comes back in, and the sounds of the conversations of people talking. And he's like, I was looking for it. The one that was stolen from the Mar Bessies.
Hmm.
A bunch of the Vox people were fawning over it. I think it was talking to them.
Well, that
I
adds
don't
another
know. I
layer
don't hear
to
it.
this. You don't hear
Yeah.
anything.
No, it just looks like a really gross book. Flip through it a little bit. It seems like there might be some infernal in here. It's definitely the Index Incarnum.
Hey, and she'll slide her the the bag of holding that that she borrowed from Cac. Put it in here. I think if you want to.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
And he puts
When-
it into the bag holding.
And she'll
Oh,
pat
okay.
it down.
When Arthur looks guiltily at Babette, was he actually guilty?
Give me an insight check.
21.
Yeah, he seemed legitimately guilty feeling about it. Like he seems to be definitely
He is
beating himself
actually
up.
upset.
Alright.
Yeah.
Huh.
Man, I'm glancing at both of you guys. I'm like, here's the thing, Arthur. You had no idea that there was a changeling on the other side. And you, she'll glance over to Babette, were in a supposedly secure location. You're two people in a network of... I have no idea how big Vox is and everything that's been going on, especially since they have contact with people who know how to mess with time machines, or at least figure it out. I'm getting too ahead of myself. But none of us could have foreseen this. But we can learn from it. So,
Yeah.
code word. We each have a very specific code word that we'll use with different people to see if either one of us is mind controlled or somebody else posing as the other, or I don't know, an illusion.
And somebody can read your mind
Mm-hmm.
and find the code word and use it to then again get you to drop your guard.
Okay.
That's where the problem is.
Okay.
We
That's
dropped our guard.
that's a good point. So how about an amulet or something else that we all have on our persons?
Hmm.
But it has a very specific meaning to somebody else, though. Can't all be the same. I don't know, there has to be a way around it. Well, we'll figure
No
this
way around the fact that trusting makes you vulnerable.
out. That's a very interesting statement, and we can unpack that later at a different time. But so is being suspicious of people, especially if they are trustworthy. It's give and take.
It's a double-edged sword.
Sometimes people who do deserve trust can be suspicious, and those who are suspicious, if you had trusted them, things would have went drastically different.
There is necessary trust, and then there's unnecessary trust.
Okay.
You're unnecessarily trusting when you let your guard down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When you don't accept the possibility that somebody might betray you, or that somebody might not be who you think they are, or that you were not smart enough, or wise enough, or quick enough for this scenario.
It was honestly
The only way to make sure that you stay alive is to always be on your guard.
and not get cocky.
Exactly. Very true for both.
Don't underestimate the desperation of desperate people. Is
We
Kaya
made it out though.
Yeah.
We're lucky. You get to learn from this.
We have the opportunity to learn from it, so take it as we can.
You're saying about Caius?
is just quick sweep of the deck. Do I see a dirty hobo man?
Give me a perception check.
Oof, 9. No, I don't.
See, what I meant to say was give me an investigation anyways.
Oh, so then 8.
Full investigation.
I'm a bad rogue, remember?
You rolled for both of these and you still got an 8.
Oh no, I was just using the same one and taking off the modifier, but
The perception is just to see if you glanced them immediately out of it. No, you could, if you want to walk through and
oh,
try and find them.
it's a 2.
Yeah, you don't find them. He's nowhere. He's definitely not on this ship. Searched up and down on that thing. There is no dirty halfling hobo on this thing.
Well, in this moment of raw honesty, do you guys have any questions for me about anything in particular?
Nothing that can't wait for a more private place.
I'm kind of at the point where I am utterly exhausted and I'm gonna slowly retreat into my shell, so it might be a while before I come out. Okay.
Reasonable.
I should look over to Arthur. Do you have any lingering questions about anything in particular?
That kind of looks at you.
No, I thought you left.
No, I'm here.
Oh,
Basically, Zell's like at the stairs. He was kind of leaning
oh.
on the stairs down, but he's like kind of leaning on the edge.
Yeah.
And he kind of goes, "No, nothing particular."
Mm. Okay.
And so then walk down. He was listening. He was waiting.
Oh, okay. Because I thought you said
He was,
he had ended up walking down before, so I'm like,
no,
what? What?
he was heading that direction, but he was leaning on the wall because you guys were talking about something particular, so he leaned.
Okay.
So and then he goes back down.
Alright.
Now Zell is back downstairs.
Yeah. Babette goes and just kind of finds a place to just kind of sit and like just like look like that's so many bullets. I'm gonna have to buy a new fucking outfit.
Yeah. If Arthur's still sticking around, she'll glance over to him. How many wars have you fought in?
Hmm. Um.
That's a long pause.
Future is a lot of fighting.
Figured. You were very precise in bringing your plan to the table. It's something that not a lot of people know right off the bat, even the foot soldiers. Caught me off guard for a moment.
Listen, warfare is something I understand. You guys are fighting a very different kind of battle. Requires a different kind of thinking, different tactics, different strategies, the plans that I would come up with. They wouldn't work. I was just happy to be able to save as many lives as I could.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been for having you guys there to help make that happen, it wouldn't have.
So,
Many people have ideas.
let's just hope.
Many people have people that can go through with it.
Yeah. The one thing that I want to ensure is that we at least prevent certain things from happening to that scale, that we can start listening to your ideas more. But it also seems like you got into situations where there was a lot of backstabbing involved. Is that with us, or was that another time and place?
Oh, well, I mean, her family. Of course, there was backstabbing. And there was a lot of forgiveness. There was this one time, however, there was this crazy demoness, and she really got into the group's head. Mother Jaisal, or Sister Jaisal, one of those things. Crazy nun.
Ah, yeah. We managed to see her in the orphanage. Both, I guess, the good spirit and that who poses as her. I don't know. That was a very interesting thing, but she's still out there somewhere.
Oh, damn.
We're prepared for her, though. I would hope to think.
Uh,
At least we know.
if she's still out there, she's definitely holding a grudge.
Mm-hmm.
I promise this, we are not prepared. But it's never stopped us before.
Exactly. We might not be prepared physically and resource-wise, but we're prepared to meet up with her. We know she's a threat. I'm used to working with low on resources and pulling through with it. This was a drastically different type of that.
Yeah, we had help.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
that was interesting. Just glad they made it through. And she'll nod over to the soldiers left behind. Back us to the wall, but that just means you can fight harder because you don't need to worry about what's behind you, just that there is a goal ahead to achieve. Okay.
One of the soldiers that you nod to, and like a couple of them look up, and they all like lift some glasses up. It seems that there had been a little bit of alcohol on the ship, and the people down below deck actually brought it up to them at one point. So they're kind of just sitting there around with these glasses and stuff. And it's raining, but like not a single person out here seems to notice this. I mean, on the top deck, the morale was lifted so well by Wisteria's walk there. Everybody here just seems to be invigorated by it, in fact. And one of them that notices you, it's the lieutenant that you had seen take the place in that final battle. Youngish, probably about 22, half elf, clean shaven, kind of like short cropped hair that comes back into this little like sweep on the top of his head, but it's buzzed on the sides. And he walks over, and his sleeves have been ripped off since the last time you saw. You can see that he suffered a pretty nasty cut on his left arm, but it's been bandaged up. And with his right, he's got his glass, and he raises it to you and Arthur, and he says, "Thank you, of course. I was worried that we weren't going to make it through that, actually. You all were something. Ben and I wanted to thank you. I guess that meant that I was the one who had to come over here and say it."
No worries. She'll also point out to where Libby is, too. She was the main wave that pushed you guys, so don't be afraid to thank her as well. She might seem like she's a prickly cactus, but she means well.
You're all certainly quite colorful individuals. Are they alien adventurers?
No, all from the Coterie Coast.
That's the accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering your names, actually. We never mentioned introductions. Or who we're thanking.
No worries. I was gonna actually gather the names of everybody that stood there, just commemorate you all. But she'll she'll introduce herself. First as Takaro is chosen, and then just follows it up with Storm Conch at the end. So doesn't really say the first name, just only the title.
Name is
Just the titles.
Yeah, just Storm Conch.
impressive title, of course. I should have known. I am Bryson. No titles. I was supposed lieutenant now, but of what I'm not certain. Bryson Bastion. I'm from Avalon.
Okay. I'll tell you up front, I still don't know what being a Takaro is chosen means too. So It sounds like a fancy title, but that's just a job that you have to have ahead of you.
Yeah, a job for a deity, though. As I was just recently employed for an international gambling casino.
Mm.
Now unemployed.
Well, it kind of was actually under the Temple of the Lovers, so it kind of was, like a deity-related job too, even though, we did the whole embezzling thing aside,
Yes. Bryson Bastion, champion of the lovers.
There you go.
That would fetch a pretty nice glass of wine in Harvale.
It would be.
That is where we're going, correct?
Yep, and she will give another estimated trajectory over there. If anything, I think Auvalion's definitely approve of the lovers, so you can spin so many tales about that now.
I doubt that my wife and children back home would approve of such tales. They might start to worry.
Thinking with Zell at that time is probably going to one of the soldiers and asking for 2 glasses.
Yeah.
Seeing Zell in the background.
The other ones over there, they also got families, right?
Some of them. And he'd start going down the list of each of the other 24 people that are there. If you have a notepad, I will improvise each one of these characters down a list.
I can write it down.
Alright.
If still be.
Alright.
Because Zell is kind of, as she's getting a glass of drink, he is kind of also a little bit talking to the soldiers.
Yeah, she also has a notepad on her, so she'll just kind of shape water, a little umbrella of water over it, and then just write names down.
And Babette is listening to all of this. She's just sitting down and, being whiny about her 15 hit points.
Yeah. Well, it's listening, but
Well,
2 glasses, so.
this motley trio of bastards right here all came from Wildefear. Big one here, that is Colin Dorf. He's got a mighty hit on him. I wouldn't want to make him angry. As I saw tonight, before this I rather thought him just a drunkard. Turns out this drunkard can fight like no other. And Colin Dorf raises his twice the size fucking goblet compared to the others and cheers. And then he goes, well, one's sitting up off of his shoulder. That one is us. You see this Kiku
Hell yes.
with a kind of very owl-like kind of visage and appearance to it, propped up on top of his shoulder. I honestly don't know much about Purse. At first I thought it was just a noun, but turns out it's Purse here is actually quite the accomplished spellcaster. And you see Purse just kind of twist their head around and look at you and tilt it and then twist it back around again and doesn't say anything.
Just the same thing. Just that little owl tilt.
And of course, this one here is, my name is Booker. Nice to meet you. And you see this half-elf with a beard, and you didn't know half-elves could grow beards, but yeah, they can. A full beard on this half-elf. He is rather strong-looking for a half-elf. Stout, wearing this same guard that the rest of them are, but as well his sleeves are torn off, but not because he's got bandages or wounds on them, they just are. And on his back is a much fancier looking rifle than the ones the rest of them are carrying. I'm the best shot out of Wildevere.
All right.
I shot everybody that was down there. Until I realized I was getting bored and decided I needed to go see if I was the best shot in the sovereign states.
Nice.
Nobody's outshot me yet. That was quite a lot of fun back there, though. Why'd you have to go on and ruin it? Every time we got to one of them blockades, you'd already taken all the fun.
Well, how about this? I can promise you a little bit more fun.
I do like the sound of a paycheck.
Yeah,
But not when I've been drinking.
and
Not taking advantage of me, city folk. I know how you are.
yeah, she'll nod, and then in a show of solidarity for sleeveless shirts, because she's in her hobo outfit, she's gonna like slide the jacket down a little bit and flex and be like, "I ain't no city folk. Don't worry about that." She'll also
I'll see.
she'll point to Babette though. She might be she'll make a motion with her eyes. She might be one
Sometimes-
of those soft.
Oh,
Them-
She's got,
Sometimes them
she's got
non-city
the
folk.
appearance of tiny.
Sometimes
got
them
the appearance
non-city
of
folk
tiny
need a
hair.
guide.
Yep. She's her babysitter in the city. Don't worry about that. She'll wink at you a little bit.
She'll stick out her tongue at you.
All right.
Now, I'll take care. And you see as Bryson goes, yeah, he's a terrible shot. And you guys move on to the next word. Now, I'll introduce him. He doesn't say quite a lot, but he was quite a big help during this particular venture. I had him from Xiao. I think he's a monk that has taken a vow of silence. Call him Vow. He's never actually introduced himself. The old lieutenant would have known his actual name. It was on the records, but there's no lieutenant and no records. And you approach and he goes, "Oh, these are the fellows that helped us off island." And you see just sitting cross-legged up on the banister with the rain pouring down around him, this elf, a pale elf, hair pulled back up into this ponytail that falls down really long behind their back, and they're just sitting there. You don't see any weapons on this particular person, and they don't turn and look in your direction or anything. And he goes, "And that's Val." And he leads you past to a group of 5, and he goes, "This group's actually all from Arvale, I believe. Isn't that right, Pierre?" And you see this halfling with this fancy feather hat. It's matched to the same color as the rest of their wardrobe, which was that kind of purplish gown silk with the white shirt. His has this purplish hat with a purplish with a slightly different shade of purple feather plucked out of it. Comes to like a fine point in front of him, and he's got this silvered rapier off of his side, and he goes, Ah, yes. We are all fun, Arvel. Happy to go back home. This is where we are heading, correct?
Yep.
I can already feel Hearthvine. The heart is there, ready to receive us.
Yeah.
What was his name again?
Yeah,
Tia?
yeah.
Can I be assumed to? At this point, Babette would be interested in knowing all of these people. They are interesting.
Mhm.
Fun faces to steal, fun voices to steal. So she's following, and
Oh, yeah.
That's going down, but I'm just writing out of character for you guys as
yeah,
well, keeping and separating them.
Yeah, she'll give him a look over and give him an estimated time of arrival.
the hearth does have that call, doesn't it?
It does, and we will be greeted as heroes. Wonder where they will put us up.
Well, I have it hard to imagine that they're going to not ask questions before we even sit down, so you can always ask for lodging. If needed, I can pay for it, since we are under the banner of the Stars and Seas right now.
No, impossible. We shall go there, and we will be received as heroes. This is not the frigid state of Yellow that we are talking about.
Oh.
This is the hearth.
Okay.
Shall
Yes, this
accept us warmly and openly, just to hear our tales.
Alright.
Babette kind of
And,
leans into Hanu and says, "Remember, Prince.
Gotcha.
This is just Hearthvine."
Alright. Well, you can spend them as extravagant as you want. I'll give you those, I guess the term is brownie points. I still don't know what that means, but... She'll look to
of course, that will be for those of us that live the more vagrant lifestyle. No longer for Raoul! Isn't that right, Raoul? You see behind him this human colonel, sheepish. His cheeks go as red as his red hair, which lies on this kind of like curly mop on top of his head, and these freckles of his face kind of disappear into the blush. And the guys around him just kind of like laugh for a moment, and he just shrugs his shoulders and goes, "Yes, yes, I have gotten recently married, and you will probably be worried."
Of course.
And he looks off to the side for a moment, and you see as Pierre just gives him like a pat on the shoulder and says, "She will be relieved, is what she will be. You did good." And he seems a little shell-shocked still by the whole scenario. And a little sad twinge goes across Pierre's face, and he shakes his head and looks at you guys and goes, "Ah, but of course there is as well still Duncan and Claudia, and of course Viera." Last one is Viera. Can't do the rolling R sound.
Vier.
Strong rolling R there.
She'll nod each and every one of them, and look over to Babette, and then look back and say a common phrase in Hearthvine for celebration. Just like I did that right? I used it in the right context.
Like she actually just says common phrase for celebration in Hearthvine,
Yeah,
or
no,
does she say something that
she
she's
says
picked
something
up?
that I don't know. Something that you would have told
Oh,
me
okay.
to say.
Yeah.
What was there? What race are they?
You see that Duncan is he's on the large side for a human. He might be half Goliath. He seems pretty big. And then you see Claudia. She's a wood elf. It seems like very tawny, curly brown hair that's shaved on one side and falls over the other, and she's very she doesn't have the rifle that the other ones have. She has two pistols instead, and then you see Vienna is also a human, but just kind of on the very average human aspect of things. He looks sort of like very Italian gentleman, right?
Mhm.
He's about 30, 40 years old. His hair comes back into this neat ponytail, but it's like thick black hair, right? And on a pretty strong, muscular side. He actually doesn't have his rifle or guns anymore, but you can see that sitting on the box behind him is a hatchet. Looks like he picked up like a fire escape fucking like axe at one point in time, and that became his weapon during that whole ordeal.
Alright.
And Navi, what does he look like he does? Does he look like he just uses weapons, or he looks like a magic user?
Who?
Navi. Sorry. Navi.
I have no idea which one that one is.
The one that blushed, one with freckles. That was recently got married.
Okay. He human. He's, yeah, human, red hair, freckles.
He
Alright.
looks like he does something special.
Lineage. What's that?
He looks like he does something anything special, like a spellcaster or anything like that, or
Yeah.
a
No,
regular.
he just has the same rifle that the other ones have.
There was only
Okay.
one spellcaster, and it was the Kinku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, since
Thank
they
you.
are drinking, I will. Since she does have some spell slots left, she'll just take out some berries and cast Good Berry on them and give them 5 of them. And then give the other 5 to the other people that we came across. So she'll hand Good Berries out. Alright. Lead the way.
And then the final 5, it was a couple of these come from prior mercenary groups and lifestyles similar to your own. Others kind of view them as being would get really crazy at the casino. They were the ones that we, of course, called when people didn't want to leave the suite, for example. Little hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that Babette would recognize?
They're not like gathered with the rest of them, so they're all kind of around, but he points them all out rather than actually like you're taking you and
Going up to
introducing you
them.
to the rest of them. Yeah. And of one of them, you do actually recognize as being a cabaret member. Them around, you don't actually know them personally, but there's somebody that you've seen in like similar circles at cabaret
Okay.
shows and stuff.
Okay. Babette just takes like a mental note of that.
Give me an investigation check or a perception check, actually. Yeah, perception.
Fucking hell. I cannot roll above a 9 for perception.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could.
It's rainy. There's a lot of people out here.
If I do see you
But
looking, I could try to give you advantage if you want.
Is that allowed?
you can look as well, actually, because he's pointing them out to both of you.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you can just make your own roll on this.
That'd be better.
+5 and then +1d4 because I got that drink.
A burb. Ah, yes.
26.
There we go.
Okay. So one of the ones that he points out is a some sort of lizard folk. You think, right? They're a reptile, but they're not like draconic looking. They're not dressed in the same uniform that the others are. They've got this just long scaled leather kind of outfit. It's very got like a long skirt off of the end of it, and they carry these two scimitar blades, and they said that one is Sulani, or maybe it was Sulani. Not certain, but what I've heard, they actually come from Urot. Rumor has it that they were a gladiator, a slave pit fighter, that won their freedom and ended up becoming a mercenary.
Work with the skills you have.
Of course. She'll nod over to Sulani.
They blink and their eyelids blink sideways, and Dyson points out another person who is currently hitting on possibly a whole group of people. There's a lot of romantic flirtation going on around this particular crate. They're got their sleeves rolled up. There's almost a kind of pirate debonair kind of style that they've got going on. And with their blonde hair and their kind of half elvishness, hard to, I mean, they could be in like male, female, who knows? But they're beautiful, and they seem charismatic, and they're in this engaged conversation with just a couple of the other commoners up on the top. And looking at them, they have a rapier on both of their hips. He goes, and that one is what we've heard, a duelist of some remark. Occasionally, the Arvalian types call their right to duel, and in that case, we've learned rather than pointing out that they're not in Arvale, it's best to just beat them and send them on their way. That's why we hired them.
Ah,
I never got their name.
alright.
And every time I've attempted to ask, I've walked away feeling very flustered.
So, most likely, they will be the champion of the waters. Okay, gotcha.
And the next one he points out.
Yeah, she'll shrug her shoulders and that's probably why they don't have a name. They probably got ran out of so many towns because causing up a stir. But yeah, she'll keep on walking.
The next one he points out is, this guy helped put together most of our actual security layouts. The locks, the warded bracelets that we had. They're quite an expert as far as preventing breaking and entering goes. This is because they used to themselves be quite the proficient locksmith. Before, of course, their hand got cut off. We just call him the locksmith. And he points out, and you can see there somehow, having not been noticed, motherfucking Caius. His coat is turned the other way around, and it looks much nicer from the other direction. And his hair is kind of combed back. And he just doesn't look like a drunkard right now. He looks like a well put together professional halfling with this really nice tailored leather coat, just slicking the rain right off of it like it's nothing. And his hands are both in both of the pockets, so you can't tell that his hand is missing. And he goes, I've only seen it a couple of times, but he's got one of the most convoluted contraptions for a hand now. He used to make bets on how he lost it.
Yeah. Well, she'll
Babette does not say anything. She just kind of looks like mildly annoyed.
yeah, she'll look over to Babette. Well, this here is actually a really good gambler, so who knows? Might be able to win a bet against this. Alright. She'll... Yeah, she just nods over to Caius.
He looks at you and pulls his hand out, and you can see that, like, instead of like the really shitty hook that's there, you can see that there's actually like what looks to be a mechanical hand in its place. And it moves with its fingers and everything, and he just kind of gives you a little kind of almost salute and winks, and then reaches out with his other thing in his flask, and he pours it out over the side.
Okay.
And shrugs his shoulders. And then he looks at you, Babette, and there's like a distinct look of talk.
Yeah.
And then Bryson goes, but I don't know where the one went. We were here, I saw them get on the boat. Would think that they'd be much easier to be found after something like this. It took quite a nasty blow during the fight. You'll find him. It's hard to miss. He's made out of stone.
Okay. Let's see. What?
Earth Genasi, from Yellow.
Ah.
We all call him the Baron.
The Baron? Nasty.
Well, she'll put her hand out and catch some rain. Sometimes some Earth Genasi don't really like water too much. Especially it depends on what type of Earth Genasi it is. It makes them muddy. You know, or no, who knows. Well, I'll keep my eyes peeled. Have they been getting... She will actually look slightly nervous for a moment and lean in. Have they been catching any flack because of what's been going on recently?
In what way?
You know, stuff in the news.
Oh,
I've been reading that throughout the week.
if anybody were to bring something like up to Bryson, they would be a fool. Well, not Bryson, the Baron, sorry, my bad.
Alright. It's good to know.
Yeah.
What news did I miss? over the past 2 or 3 days.
Hmm. And she'll look out, down, and rifle through her bag and just hand Babette a news article.
What's in the news article?
And she'll just whisper under her voice, seems like Yellam took control of Ashuk Madna, helped set that up. She just whispers it to you.
Yeah.
Yep, well, you need a good read. She'll pat you on the cheek. Alright, is there anybody else?
Not that would be everybody.
Okay. Well, looking at this ragtag group, it reminds me of our own. So, I know I brought up that you all work for the Temple of the Lovers, but sometimes you just always have to go back to the Fool. Sometimes the only thing you need in a situation is a wandering, bumbling fool can save. And it just always seems to have a way to make things work out. So, if everybody won't get insulted by it.
Well, only 25 of us made it. We lost 40 people today.
Exactly. Planning on making a memorial to commemorate those who lost their lives. But the one
I
thing...
know their names.
Yeah. Wait, does he know the names?
I know their names.
Okay. She'll nod over. If you want to take some time to collect yourself, I would like to know them.
Oh, I'd like to do this as soon as we can.
Okay. And she'll take out another piece of paper, but then she'll look over to Bryson. But I think a lot of people sometimes forget that the Fool is one who begins journeys. And I think a new journey has just begun. If you guys want, you'll have good heads on your shoulders. The Stars and Sea Society is home to all. So I can like to offer a handout to you guys. You saved a lot of people, and I think we can help save more. Let's not let their sacrifice be in vain.
You and yourself in scenarios like this often.
We tend to stumble across situations where we need to be. What? Just like how
Don't know.
vast
But I
this...
will talk to the others and see. People will want to know what they're going to do next. Perhaps it will be comforting to them.
Yep.
Myself, I don't know. Thank you.
No worries. Just as there an infinite amount of stars in the skies, some glowing brighter than the others, but there's people to help out, and that's our main goal. The ones who are willing to rush into battle, by all means they can, but sometimes it's just smaller victories helping out a village that I think gets glossed over. So, if it makes any difference, I'm not going to be sending you guys out to battle like this. There's a lot of good work to be done that's small, but it makes a difference to everybody else who's affected by it. More hands makes lighter work. It's a saying that we have in the Coterie Coast. We put all our minds together, anything can be accomplished.
I started my career, the guild that protected merchant caravans in Iraq. I've seen my fair share of battles, as have most people here, in fact, other than a few. Those that had never seen battle be lost.
Yes, unfortunately.
But sometimes it's just the way it goes. You put your money, earnings in your life to something like this. Or what you're signing up for.
Exactly.
There's most days sitting around playing cards and making friends. The one day when you have to earn all of that time you've gained. Today was that day.
think.
He will tell you the rest of the names of the people that were lost.
Yeah.
All 40 of them. And it's in that you realize why he was the one that ended up being the lieutenant position after the other fell.
Mhm.
Because it's unlikely that everybody else was kind of in little groups. Even as he introduced them, they weren't all together. They were all in separate little bits and groups, and they'd made. But he knows all of them.
Yeah.
And after that you end up seeing the airships come up on either side of you, and Bryson, you kind of like hold your hand up for the lights kind of come off the sails of these airships next to you, and a voice comes out loud, like as if thaumaturgied, saying that you're going to be escorted to the Hearthvine and stow your weapons if you have any out.
Good.
And after that you see as the airship parts out through these clouds, and you can see it starts to lower and lower, guided down towards the water by these airships until you're just a little bit above it, right? You're not touching the water, but it's close enough that you can see the lights from your ships reflecting off of the currents underneath you as it starts to spill into dusk, and it's now the last little bits of light, and this part where the airship dock is, there's a bunch of flashing lights almost cutting through the fog as if they were flashes of lightning inside of a storm cloud, until you get closer to it and the thundering noise is the sound of news reporters, and you step out and there is a man in gold filigreed lion motifed armor standing almost like a beacon on the edge of this dock, and next to him is Prince, who they both kind of step and look away from each other as the boat pulls up next to it, and people walk out slowly. There's no rush. As everybody gets off of the boat, they move almost numbly, and the flashing of the light bulbs kind of like makes them all blink, and a few people try and direct questions your way, but they're dismissed by the interference as Prince plays interference. The man in his golden armor, this Lions Guard captain, informs you that you're expected at the Halls of Justice tomorrow in the Mont des Jardins district, and that they're not going to question you now because they recognize that all these people are alive because of you. But you have until noon tomorrow
Yeah.
to arrive for your appointment.
So yeah, then
And
probably gets into the conversation that we had, like the closing of last session.
Mhm.
Yep.
Actually, during this point, I was walking off. Basically, when we started walking, probably to the car, or probably up to the deck and
Oh,
to it,
yeah.
that would be acting kind of Wisteria. Do you have any place to go?
yeah, I've actually people waiting for me
Mm.
to head back. Let them know that I'm not dead.
Are they Are they here right now? You seen them? Or no?
They probably honestly haven't heard yet, so I can get ahead of the bad news if I hurry.
Mm. You want me to take you back?
I've got it figured out.
Alright. Well, and Zell would quickly write down V's address because fucking key mine, so he remembers that shit,
Hmm.
and hands it to Asteria. If you need to contact me, I'm staying here for now. He's up
So you kiss on the cheek, and then she steps out, and a bunch of the press kind of walk up after that, and you see his not Fee, but Kelly pushes her way through, and it's like mean mugs some reporter who like looks like intimidated, backs away from it, and instead rushes over past Wisteria, who is now like surrounded by press. And as several people call out, that's Wisteria Wield, and uh, the crowd kind of parts way and finds her for a moment, and you can see that car suddenly now visible, and your friends there.
Hey, Kelly. Zell kind of walks up. Long time no see.
Oh, well, I was just coming up for a quick visit. I wasn't expecting for you to be doing more hero stuff. I should have known better. Coast to coast.
Yeah, I should have a present for you. And he pulls out the spring-loaded boot. Here you go.
Now, this
So,
is, let me guess, this was something that a gnome came up with.
you would be right.
They do look like fun, though, don't they?
From what Hanan told me, they're quite fun.
Yeah. As I see that, I'll pretend to look aghast at that, like, I give you a gift, and then she wanders over to the big mech and slaps it. I got you a better gift!
I've missed you too, Hanu. She gives you a hug.
Yeah.
Y'all smell terrible, though. Rain isn't doing you much good on that. We need to get you all inside, something warm to eat, and a shower.
Well, that's what
I'll
I
be
was
right as rain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mm,
already right as rain, but you know what I mean.
yeah, we understand, Kelly.
Okay. Then she'll leave.
So kind of looks to Zarman. There, Mike.
Yeah, Zarman would have just been
Standing
looking.
outside the car.
Well, no, Zarman would have been looking at Zell worried the entire time for that exchange.
So kind of looks at the Zarman and kind of gives a kind of very tired smile. And how you doing, buddy?
Worried out of my mind for you, but
I'm okay. Not okay, but I'm alive. Talk when get back. Um, how I'm guessing you arrived and kind of looked back in that car.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten where Eliza got that from, but she was in it.
And I feel like at this point, Babette is just like kind of looking down and like trying not to avoid eye contact with Eliza as she glares at Babette.
Okay, I was like, is Eliza there?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you drove the crew and everybody, like just a few hours prior to this, you had been on your way back in the new family vehicle. You'd flipped the stealth mode off so that this beautiful vehicle could be seen and not crashed into by other people on the road. And just when you'd been almost getting back to Rosemarie's place, something came on over the radio inside of your vehicle. And it described that there had been an explosion at the casino Griffin's Perch over Lake Auvale to the north. And that there were survivors from this explosion. Nobody knows how many were lost or how many were saved, but that there were survivors being escorted back who had been saved by the Stars and Seas Society, your group. And as you kind of pressed on the gas just a little bit more, breaking a few speed laws perhaps, you made your way and pulled up right in front of Rosemarie's, just as Ellie, Willem, Maya, Zarman, and Thea were all heading out to try and go meet up with the airship that was going to be touching down in about an hour. And they instead got inside of your vehicle as you kind of all knew where you were all going. And as Zarman climbed in the passenger seat and the rest kind of filled up the bench behind it, you made your way up towards the coast of Lake Auvale. And there were a bunch of news reporters had gathered, and people were waiting for the airship to show up. You watched as it pulled up, and Babette and Zarman, oh no, not Babette and Zarman, Babette and Zale and Hanu and Arthur all walked off of the boat, looking pretty rough. There's some bullet holes in their clothes. They're pretty bloodied up. They've got bandages and stuff on them in pretty severe looking areas. They look like they've been through hell.
Okay. And we're back at Nan's now.
Oh no, we're
Yes.
We're
Oh,
still,
yeah.
that we're
Still standing out in the rain next to the reporters and outside of your car.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, well, immediately I'm looking at Babette and I'm like, vacation?
That's what it was supposed to be. That is definitely what it was supposed to be. And I swear this time it wasn't me.
Okay, well, I know it's not always you, and I know you can take care of yourself, but why do... I just want to be there. I want to make sure you're safe. All of you are safe. Hopefully. So, anyway, this is my dad's car. I don't know. I don't know what you guys went through this week, but I had a weird visit. Oh, Hanu, I have 24 pies for you.
Holy smokes. Thank you.
Oh, pie sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
For everyone. My mom made a lot of pie.
They're in a picnic basket on the floorboard of the back seat right now. There's a lot of them. Yeah, they're like little tiny personal pies, and there are all different types of pies. 24 different types of pies.
Yeah.
Did Babette eat the entire time that she was
No.
underneath the casino? Yeah, okay. She immediately just says, fuck all of you, I'm going for the pies.
Eliza, yeah, she'll hand them out.
Oh, shit.
But
Okay.
look, I'm sorry. I'm scattered. I don't like to be so forward about personal issues, but my dad, the reason he gave me the car, I ran into him on the way to my house my parents' house. And he had me drive him into the forest and drop him off at, he said it was a witch's house. I don't know anything about any witches around here, but he wouldn't let me go with him, and he wouldn't let me not take him. And before he left, he was vague as always, but he told me that all of the answers I was looking for, I could find with you guys.
Hmm.
I don't know what that means, but I need help. I don't know if my dad's safe. I don't know what's going on with my family.
The hut wasn't made of candy?
It was not.
Hmm.
Not that hut.
Well,
Fine.
you look like you've had a pretty rough day, Eliza. Why don't you go sit in the back? I know how to ride a bike, so I clearly know how to drive this metal beast of burden over here. And she rolls up her
I've
sleeves.
placed out.
Alright, no, I think I can do it. Yeah.
I think I should. I'm gonna drive the car.
Okay.
But thank you.
Alright.
Alright.
You sure? I could also steer a ship. Clearly this is a ship on wheels.
Oh, I'm sure that you're very capable. It's just, it's my family's, and
Got that. No worries. And she'll give you a side hug and just really making sure she doesn't aggravate any of her burns. And she's like, yeah, it's good to see you though.
Yeah. And Babette is going to take a second and then give you a huge hug.
yeah, she's hugging you very hard. Like, she's not. She whispers in your ear, "Please stop almost dying."
I'll see what I can do. No promises.
Mm.
I need promises, please. I need you.
Babette freezes.
Eliza gets really awkward and steps away.
Yeah, at this moment, seeing this, Honey just clearly opens the door really loudly. Oh boy, I can't wait! Makes a motion to get inside so she can give Eliza an out.
Eliza, quickly, get in the car.
This is a really strange ship here.
It's pretty cool.
Mouse mobile.
Oh, okay.
It turns
Fancy
invisible.
like that. Turns invisible.
It does.
Oh.
I can never tell if you're being serious or not.
Mm.
Eliza
You
turns
find
invisible.
my hopes. No way.
Heck yeah. Oh, okay. Well, orderly fashion.
So at least one of us got something good out of this weekend.
Oh,
Hey, Zale, speaking of which, how much did you win?
That's asleep. Unless he's waking him up.
Oh, he's a sleepy one.
Damn.
Alright.
Yeah.
It's a
Babette has
pretty-
crawled into the car and is now eating a lot of the pies.
Yeah. Hanu will be last, so she'll just gesture. Go, run around the back and gesture for people to enter.
I figured everybody's already in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Mm.
She took
The only ones that weren't doing this was Babette and Eliza there for a moment.
Oh, no. She was outside. She's usually the last one to get into places. She'll be like,
Yeah, I know who I'm leaning on, but Zell kind of passes out.
oh, okay.
That Zarman would sit in the back there. That
Yeah, so he's kind of lean on Zell, and Zell's actually asleep. He's not meditating.
Alright. At that point, I would push Babette to go into the passenger seat. And then she'll squeeze in. But she'll also glance over to see how Kelly and the crew are.
For most of the ride back, they just question you on the events of what happened, right? But in it's mostly a combo of Willem exclaiming, "Oh gosh, that sounds dastardly," and "Please stop telling me things, but please continue," and Ellie goading for like all of the details the entire time. And it's I mean it's a good 30-minute drive to get back all the way to the other side of town. So you're driving for some time, and you get a good amount of time to be able to talk and catch up. She says that she was partway on the way up already. That they managed to get the engine pulled out, and that the rest of the recovery process was really, really simple after that. And they're pretty much just they can keep it going without her at this point.
Alright.
And the final week when they need to like plug everything in,
She needs
then
to go back. Okay.
not really needed.
She'll.
I evidently wants to spend some money here. She's just like, my pocket's getting really heavy.
She'll take a moment and actually give my extremely concerned look, kind of mentally trying to portray, are you sure you're gonna be okay here? But then, she will glance over to Willem and be like, I'm really sorry, Willem, but I'm about to tell you news that you definitely should be sitting down to hear.
You're all sitting down.
I know, she says that.
I mean, that sounds like something Honey would say as they're
Yeah.
sitting.
I know.
I know.
She's like,
I know.
yeah. Listen, I've asked everybody around in the Stars and Sea, and you've been overthrown as the best dressed in the Stars and Sea Society.
Impossible. I would know this.
Well, clearly you don't, because, and then she'll slowly take out of her shirt, first casting light behind the back part of the pajamas, so it has like this kind of backlight to it. This guy won it. She shows Hanuamaka with his silken pajamas. And it looks like the night outfit that you guys saw a picture of.
Heck yes.
The votes are in. They got casted. You're out, Willem. You have to beat him. I don't think that's possible.
That looks like a tenement. That's definitely tenement stitching right there. The craftsmanship. Have a good eye for this stuff. But I
No, yeah,
have 3 tenements.
exactly. I'm sorry, bro. And
Actually waiting for the 4th one for every season.
Oh, I'm planning on making one for every continent and country out there, so don't worry, bro. Every season.
I was like, just a fire light up in them.
I know, yeah. Every season.
Every star in the sky.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll call it my constellation wardrobe.
I highly doubt that's gonna win next vote, but we can work it out. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be tough competition. She gives him a very stern nod at that.
I'm not worried.
You will be. Trust me, you will be. She says, cracking her knuckles and then putting her.
Just to be clear, we're still talking about fashion, right?
Yes, of course. What else would we be talking about? As she also cracks the other knuckle and then goes to scratch her bird. Just. Okay. Well, this was honestly a surprise to see you all. Nan's accommodations are very, it's very homely. I don't know if you guys are planning on staying, where you're planning on staying here in the city, but I'm sure we can work something out. She'll glance over to, Willem, Kelly, and Maya.
We are planning on staying a few different places. We are here to spend money and, of course, get to know the city.
Of course. Well, we got our own personal tour guide over here. She'll point to Babette. She knows the city like the back of her hand, so if you have any questions, pretty sure she can answer them.
Babette's dozing. She's not fully asleep, but
every single morning, so you can just come and have breakfast at our place. That way you can save it and have an even better dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks towards Armin.
Yeah, I've been working on my cooking recently. Still not where I would like it to be yet.
Well, you guys can have a taste test. I think he has been working studiously throughout this whole week. I can vouch for that.
He already does better eggs than Nan.
Mm-hmm.
I said that.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're having dinner there, right? She will glance over to Zoran.
I was cooking.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I'm almost done figuring out ducks.
Okay. Ducks are pretty tricky, so you're honestly working from the highest, and once you reach that top, you can learn everything else.
it's been a while since I've had a good duck.
Mm-hmm. At this point, the adrenaline is probably really wearing off of her, so she's just gonna focus on snuggling her owl, which will be a... Yes. Those who have known her for a while know that she talks a lot whenever she's in a huge amount of pain. So she gets a 34 for her snuggling, her cuddling with this bird. So she's just quiets down significantly and starts cuddling her bird. Pressed up against the window since she took the window seat. Last one in.
You guys make it back. Have a nice, fulfilling dinner. You guys can RP as you wish for this evening, if you would like. If not, then we could move forward to next day. You're supposed to, in the morning, go to the Halls of Justice in Montdesjardins so that you can report to the captain of the Lions Guard and give your account of events. And sometime in the afternoon, you're supposed to drop by and see Frederick. You, Zale, are supposed to as well use Armin and discuss with going through letters. So the two of you have plans to go see Frederick in the afternoon.
Yep. Before that, since Keck is probably still upstairs, I will run up there. And also I'm knocking on the wall next to him to catch his attention. Keck!
Huh?
Hey.
What?
Alright, Duck's downstairs. I got you a present in here. Even better, it's a better book than the ones before. It talks to your mind.
What? Talking mind books?
Yeah.
Ducks? What are you talking about?
Oh, come downstairs. We got a lot to tell you about.
Confused. Fine, but I'm ringing my tadpole.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Sure. The more the merrier, I guess. She looks over at this pickled thing, like, oh, that's. But yeah. So.
I'm currently calling him Andrew, but I need to know exactly what he does. How useful he'll be.
It seems
Duck. Yes.
very
Let's.
strong name. Yeah. So Arthur found the gift. Actually, I just stored it in your bag, but I think it might be the book that was missing from the Maravesi's place, so I don't know if that's going to help you out with your research. Or not.
Oh well. If it is indeed that book, yes, that will help greatly.
So, I will just say, he told me that, it seemed to be like talking to people, and it kind of was whispering in my mind, but you can whisper in people's minds too, so I think it's a perfect fit. And she'll just pick up the book, take the book out of the bag, slide it up, and if you want to grab it, she'll let you, but she'll slowly start pulling it down.
Be like, his eyes will go wide, and he'll be like, "Ooh." Yes, just slide that back in there,
Yep.
and I'll have a look after the so-called duck.
Okay. And also, I stole a priceless artifact. Thank you for letting me keep it in here. She takes out the crown, she puts it in a box, and then puts it back into your bag.
Yes, that's fine.
And she gives you the perfect little Hanu smile, which is just this. Thank you. And she'll hand the bag back to you.
Yes, thank you.
Right. Don't worry, I'll eventually get my own bag, but for right now,
That's fine. You can keep it in here as long as you need. I'll look after it as best I can.
Okay. Counting on that.
Which I'd imagine Zarman walks up to the room slowly while holding Zale and puts him in the bed.
Yeah, just poof. Yeah, he's tired.
Oh, what happened to him?
What happened to him, Hanu, and Babette and Arthur? And then if you look over Hanu more, you notice the bullet holes.
Wait, what? Oh.
Come on.
Yes, duck.
Yes,
Let's
food.
go.
Yes. And then, yeah, at the dinner table, she will glance her out and just be up front. So, yep, just so you guys know, you can probably be seeing a few newspaper articles written. Not too sure, honestly. But there may or may have not have been a break-in at a museum for the Korea Coast. And that will just leave it at that.
Wait. Did you do crime?
Babette kind of leans back and just looks at Hanu like, yeah, Hanu, did you?
Eliza's also looking at you, but with she's it's just like curiosity. Like she just wants to know what mystery there is to solve.
Alright. She'll clear her throat a little bit and do some thaumaturgy to make the lights brighter, and then making her appearance a little bit more intense with the eyes. Yes. And then sits down.
Yeah.
Okay, well, about that. I honestly don't know what to say about that. That's fine. As long as there's no trouble coming after you, I couldn't care less.
About that.
Yes. Hanu says in the same tone. Yeah, we might have angered, Valente. She coughs. But that's his fault for having an accountant who stores a bunch of Korea Coast artifacts for the sole purpose of just dissecting us like we're specimens in a jar.
I really don't think Valente would appreciate that kind of sentiment, Hanu.
Well, that was his accountant's fault. I repatronized an artifact that does not belong to him.
Because a ghost told you to.
Yep.
Just make sure of that.
Yep.
I mean, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to find out where it belongs, don't worry. But, yeah, that's what I was up to. She'll glance over to Zarman, because I would have...
Zarman just has a hand over his face as he's slowly eating his duck.
Yeah, I told you, at least, I'm gonna be doing a heist, and it's at a Korea Coast museum. But then she'll just be like, yep, I did not foresee the last event. I am so sorry, Zarman. If that
Summer
was
just has hand over face eating the dice.
yeah, if that was the case, I definitely would have approached it differently. But I will tell you, I won't do that again. I am a very bad criminal. And she goes to eat. But also she'll look at Kelly like, yeah, I did crime. Am I a pirate now? Kind of like thumbs up.
I did crime.
Yeah. My bounty's gonna go up significantly. I can't wait.
I freed a bunch of animals.
Yep. And that was honestly the best part of this all. She'll look very proudly over to Fee.
Really good. I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive. Any interesting animals?
They were all pretty interesting, actually. One of them had a bunch of different colored feathers on them. That his name was Doombringer, and it was a very scary name for what was actually a very friendly bird.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Interesting. Does he have the capability to actually bring doom, I wonder?
Well, he did poop on somebody on his way outside of the door.
But
I think it truly depends on your definition of doom at that point.
I know,
That-
yeah.
That is certainly concerning. Well, yes.
Doomed somebody's day. Fashion police probably arrested him right on the spot. I heard that's a thing in Avia. Or is that just a metaphor? A metaphor? I don't know.
It's an in-joke.
No, the fashion police aren't real.
Okay.
They can't get you, honey. Don't worry.
Listen, I've ran away from justice once, I'll do it again.
Willem slides out at this moment, and he is in this pair of white silk with these. It's the symbol for the lovers, the holy symbol of them, which is a heart-shaped arrowhead. All right, so a bunch of heart-shaped arrowhead arrows that are colored pink across this really nice silk outfit that you can tell from the stitching does match the same stitching as yours. And he's like, oh, don't worry. If the fashion police came, I would just tell them to leave. He walks over. He takes one of the bits of duck and goes to slice it off, but instead just ends up across the fork instead and goes, and then slices it off properly, and then rolls it between his fingers and sits down and looks at you like, challenge me.
I know, she'll give him a very stern look and scritch her bird awake and feed him some of the duck. Be like, they're looking disbelieving.
He's like holding the fork like between like 3 of his fingers, but like pointed up, right? And he just like takes a little tiny bite off the corner of the duck that he's got. Doesn't ever take his eye off of you or that bird.
Hannah doesn't either, except she's just feeding the bird, looking at him, and this bird just blinks his eyes open and starts munching, completely oblivious, probably. Intense scratching. There you go.
Yes, well. No. We uncovered a bunch of people set on exploding a casino for the greater good. Well, going there just for vacation.
I don't know if the greater good encompasses, like, blowing up everybody on that island, but I'm pretty sure they were going to blow up everybody on that island.
Yeah, they seemed a bit misguided. This was their symbol, and Babette pulls out the headband.
That might be handy for when you have to talk about what happened there.
Indeed, it will be.
Yep. I'm still gonna withhold judgment because they deserve that. But I mean, the first introduction was that they were gonna kill a bunch of innocent people. I mean, sure, they were mad about nobles, but they were still going to get a lot of people caught in the crossfire. But I will withhold judgment until I hear most of the other story. The world is complicated. I want to at least try to unpack it. At least for now. We also lost a lot of people in this, so...
What I'm really curious about is whatever that machine was. One that you said was the big bomb? It's so sad that it's got to be at the bottom of Lake Arville right now, because I would love to take a look at that.
Oh, don't you worry, Kelly, because most likely we are going to have to... Glances over at her. Bring it up for a future project. And then she'll...
So at that point, we'd be walking down,
Yeah,
hearing that part,
stare
being like,
at Arthur.
We get the ship repaired, we could use it for a salvage operation. Gotten quite proficient with it now that I'm using the suit.
So apparently, as she's looking at Arthur and then glances and just looks at everybody slowly. I know we were talking about the whole time travel thing, and it's up to you if you want to believe it or not. But that's kind of our property. And that was the time machine.
well, not necessarily our property, but we did. Other us worked on it.
Yeah. So, I have no idea if that's going to change your opinion on this matter, Kelly, but I'm really tired actually right now. I can't. Okay. She
Yeah.
goes back to
How's-
eating.
I'm all for hoisting it up. Though with all the rumors of war going on, might be kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just have a feeling now a lot of curious eyes are going to be on that, since it was over on international water.
I don't know if anybody's gonna claim it before then. It is in international water.
If we have the airship, we could go over the top of it.
Yeah.
We got busted quite good at deep sea diving now.
That's good. Yeah, maybe we can. I don't know what the thing is doing right now to Lake Hothville. I don't know what effects and aftermath it is of going off like that.
You think
I
it
don't
might
know.
have side effects to the water?
I think
Yeah.
it might have side effects to.
The
I mean,
everything.
it's gonna sound crazy, but side effects to the space-time continuum as a whole, not just the water,
Yeah.
not just the lake.
Huh. I mean, maybe. But I think it's far too early to be making any sort of conclusions.
Nah, I'm hoping it doesn't really do anything. It was just a big boom. That's what I'm
What does
hoping
the
for.
symbol of the Vox look like?
The symbol of the Vox, they didn't have a
Yeah.
single symbol on it. It's literally just
Oh,
a
it was
red
just the red
bandana.
band. Okay,
Mm.
yeah. I don't know why I thought there
And
was a
then
red bandana
goes,
on it.
oh, come. Oh, damn. You've gotta be kidding me. I mean, they can't seriously just own the color red now. It's like a huge portion of my wardrobe.
I mean, those are my eyes.
Hmm. Oh.
I think it's specifically red bandanas, so you're probably okay, Willem.
Hmm.
I have 3. Well, only Culture Coast fashion anyway.
If they won't be able to put those on for right now.
Mm.
I mean, if
Well, if you 3 have gotten your fill, you may want to rest. You still look rough.
Yeah, I did take a short nap in the Are.
Sermon squints.
Hmm.
Oh,
We have a whole day ahead of us.
yeah.
Mhm.
I have to be up, to go talk to the Lines Guard, Zarman, if you want
Yeah,
to
I
be
gotta be
joining
there.
with us. It's gonna be before noon. But I know you guys have a meetup with Frederick, so I can go by myself.
I think we're all gonna be
I
there.
think everybody
Oh,
who's there would
yeah.
have to be there.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
Zale will have to come.
Okay.
So you might have to be in the morning to do that if he wants to make it in time for
Yeah,
Frederick in the
sure.
afternoon.
I mean, I wake up really early anyway, so it's just wherever you guys want to go. I'm full
Uh,
time.
we'll see if the bullet wounds treat you that way. And Simon's trying to usher you upstairs.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, it's fine. I'm fine.
Alright. You guys get a long rest in?
Since Zell will meditate this one, he'll be up a lot earlier, and you could try to find Arthur.
Before we get to all that, we're taking a break.
Oh, okay,
And
because I want to talk to Arthur about something. Now I'm curious.
Yeah, no, that whole dinner conversation, Babette was sitting right next to Eliza, though.
Eliza was just listening,
Mhm.
as she does.
So got fucking rid of those bullet hole fucking put on like just a shirt and pants and just was walking down.
Yeah, no, Babette lost all of her shit to an explosion again. I just realized.
Sorry, that's
No, it's kind of funny.
you guys go. You're about to get paid when you guys
Yeah.
go to the Lion's Guard. So
I mean,
Oh.
I still laugh at the idea that, since she was on the airship explosion, she has to catch up now.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
before then, as I'll kind of wiggle out of my way from Zarman's grasp. They're like, wait, say, I'll be up there in a bit. You! She stares over at Babette and points her finger.
Yes.
I got you something. Also, I got you something too, Eliza. She'll say it extremely politely. And she will be like right by the couch. She'll just jump on it and just pull out a bag, and she puts it back up, walks over. This is for you. She grabs out a hat that looks like probably the most badass hat an investigator would want, and it has a tiny charm on it, just a warding off charm. She's like, I saw this hat, and I also had these charms aside, so I thought that would be a good fit for you. She hands it over.
Eliza's like, she is really awkward about receiving gifts, but she's you can tell she's really appreciative.
Yeah,
Like
Babette takes it out of Eliza's hands and puts it on her head and says, "The best investigator I know."
Eliza blushes.
like, I can hear the monologuing of, like, justice and truth right now. It's really good, she says, stroking her chin, nodding approvingly. And you...
This is the hat of somebody who takes down purse snatchers.
Yeah. She narrows her eyes at Babette and slowly takes out an extremely gaudy wine opener, puts it down on the table in front of you. Got you that.
I think I might need that.
Yep. But I
While you're
also
doing that,
got you this. And then as she opens it up, remember that plant that you were talking about? How
Fuck
it's
yes, the
overdramatic?
dramatic plant.
She will actually take out a bottle of mineral water. You're gonna need this. And then slowly walks over to the window where this plant is still, leaning over. Dramatic. Fia's been managing to talk it down. But this reminded me of you. I was walking by the window and I just heard it, like the weird dramatic music playing and just these words of this plant speaking to my mind, and it just reminded me of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. It really likes mineral water. Like, it takes nothing else, so you might need to stock up on that. Oh, boy.
This is good to know. Babette goes up and, like, waters it. She's never had a plant before.
Whoa, that's a little bit too much. Stop. She's just
Oh.
like, stop.
Lahan is like doing that, and Zell kind of slinks behind because he's also stuck away from Zarn.
No, at this point, everybody he was guiding was fucking slipping away. So
Yeah.
I was like, just sitting or standing by the stairwell, squinting.
I don't know. Like, okay. Alright.
Zell will go up to Hanu, like right behind Hanu, and be like, I also have a present for you, Hanu.
Mm.
Something I won, and he gives you a 300 gold piece diamond.
Oh, sweet. Oh, yeah. Arthur was asking what else you won, but this will be useful. Okay, thanks. And she'll give you a side hug. And then she'll pull out of the bag a little, oh shit, I forgot what they're called. She'll pull something else out for you, which is I wrote it down. It's those like long extended tool, a tool that's like a grabber, a picker, but it has mage hands for the clasp.
Oh.
The clamps for it. Like, there you go.
Just
So whenever you're working on something, she starts snipping it at you and starts tugging your hair. You can, this can be from far away. I don't know.
Thank you.
And she,
And if you're curious what I won, exactly. I won 150 million
Million.
platinum. 150 platinum. Then I won 300 gold piece diamonds. I won a statuette worth 100 platinum. I won a property. Something St. Thomas. I actually have the deed, and he kind of shows the deed out and pulls it out of his back. Deed right here. And these, and he picks up the boots and puts them kind of on the table, as you can know. These are boots of elven kind. I won.
Babette, you could see her visibly get like a little, ooh.
And this statuette actually was told, and I kind of looked up on that it can sell for more than 100 platinum if you find a particular buyer. I was hoping.
Oh, I could probably find that particular buyer.
Yeah, and I was hoping actually, in a way, hiring you, and you would sell this for me in a higher price, and I'll give you these. And he points to the boots.
I think maybe a little bit of a little cut of the money would be beneficial as well, but I would definitely take those boots.
I mean, if you can make 200 platinum from it, you get 50 of it.
Ooh. I'll see what I can do, but I think I need to sleep off the bullet wounds first.
Oh yeah, bullets hurt. A lot
Yes,
more than I
yes,
thought.
they do. Yeah, no, I've never enjoyed getting shot.
This is a first person. Is it the first person like being shot? I feel like
With a gun, probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And there was arrows before.
yeah, Aaron.
Arrows hurt too. Arrows
Arrows
hurt really bad.
oh,
Yeah, pulling them out sucks.
well,
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, that was the majority of what I won. But
We were just able to shoot you from much further than we were used to.
yeah,
That's what made the fight so hard. It was hard getting to people.
yeah.
makes it ring.
That also was a really big advantage on it.
Yeah.
That's why
Uh,
successful stuff that you have advantage.
Man, that's what I won through the week. So I mean, it went well.
Yeah, you're very lucky that you got to experience the joys of the casino.
You got
I
a
won.
whole piece of property? Oh, what do you think it is? You think it's some sort of mansion?
From where it's located in St. Commerce, I don't know. From what they were talking about,
Yeah.
sound like a warehouse.
Yeah, she narrows her eyes at you. I was hearing you're a high roller, so I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna be the best thing that you could ever imagine.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
Some sort of haunted mansion.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
No, just with our luck, it's always something haunted.
no, listen, that would be my luck, and I would enjoy a haunted mansion. Just the
Which
haunted
at this
part.
point, I'm pretty sure Kelly, Maya, and Willem noticed that Zarman's a lot older. I don't want to see a ghost again.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. She'll just
it's.
scritch
I
Starman.
don't think it's actually a mansion. From what they told me, it's like some kind of warehouse.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the best place that you guys could set up shop if you ever wanted to.
I'm definitely going to go take a look at it. If you wish to join me, Kelly. From the sounds of it, sounds like a good place to work on your mech if you ever bring up here.
Tomorrow morning, you have that thing that you have
Why
to
not?
go talk to the guard about.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
Tomorrow afternoon, you were planning on hanging out with Fedra.
it's the
No, it's a
property's
later
gonna be there.
thing.
You guys
Yeah.
can do it later in the week. It's no rush for it.
Not
No,
rushed.
Zarman just
Well,
seems to be like
all
thinking
three of
schedule
us
off
are just
episode.
gonna be out eating anyways.
Mhm.
We're gonna go do a circuit of all of Hearthfine's fine cuisine.
Alrighty.
I recommend this cafe if you ever doing that. It's actually really nice. Especially here in Saintville. Villa de Ver.
Oh, and don't forget about Pierre's. It's a really good steakhouse.
Oh,
If you
I
tell
do
them that
love
you
Pierre's.
know me, they'll give you a good seat.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, guys, I apologize for not giving any souvenirs to you. I didn't know you're coming here today. I probably will try to see if we can get some scrap metal from that mech that the gnome was using. She nods over to Kelly. But you all experienced my warm and charming personality, and that's the best gift of them all. She gives a really shaky thumbs up.
Yes, that's true.
My adrenaline is wearing off, and I need to go to sleep. See you guys.
By the way, Connor, before you go, did you kill Cackle the book?
Yeah, I told them about the book.
Yes. Speaking of gifts, I feel a little bad that you've gone ahead and got things for people, and I didn't get you anything. So I have a gift for you too.
Oh? She'll tilt her head.
He's gonna just go to his like 4 pouches that are on his belt, and he's just gonna take an empty one off and just gingerly place it in front of you. Just, maybe you'll find some use for that.
Lady at all.
She looks at it. Is there anything really interesting? Like any specific writing?
No, it's just a regular brown pouch
It's an empty pouch.
She'll glance at it.
with nothing in it.
I know, she just looks at the stitching, pretending she looks like she knows what she's doing, but she's not. She's like, this is actually the first gift that I've gotten in a long time. Little slight smile, but the same kind of lightness that happened when she grabbed when you had helped her manage to get a painting set for like half price is there. Just a tiny slight smile, but with the same warmth and radiance. Thanks, bruh. And she'll give you a side hug.
Yes. Now, you go get some rest. He'll gently pat your shoulder.
She'll
Yes, we'll talk more in the morning.
okay, yeah, and she'll put the diamonds in there, and she ties it up and puts it on her side, pats it, and then she goes to run upstairs, but then stops, and she's like, "Oh, okay."
Ow,
yeah.
ow, ow.
Sorry, can you help me upstairs, please?
Okay.
Okay.
Was Nan around for that whole conversation?
Nope, Nan
Okay.
is up in her
It's
room.
fairly late.
Yeah. I figured, but I thought it would be funny if she was just sitting there like, what the fuck?
I mean, unless it was already morning, I doubt she was like.
Yeah.
And you guys each head out, get rest for health, and wake up the next morning. The sound of new day. Earthvine is in full swing. You heard as newspaper came by and a delivery of milk was dropped off on the front doorstep, and Anne woke up and grabbed the stuff on her daily routine. The trio had stayed at an inn. They say that they're staying in an inn in Sante de View, and that they'll be probably staying somewhere here in the village tonight instead. They saw a pretty nice place on their way up here this morning, and they arrive in time for breakfast. Mashad, you said that you wanted to go and talk to Arthur in the morning before anybody else woke up, right? So,
Yeah, that would have meditated as he finally got good enough rest and kind of go to where Arthur is if he's on that perch up top.
no, Arthur is out on the dock. He's fishing.
That would go out kind of early.
Hmm.
Sit down. I heard that you wanted to talk to me about something.
Die.
Yeah, something about my wife.
If I did, I don't remember.
Mm. The
Probably was nothing.
So not the whole healing herself thing. Was that weirdly strange flight?
It looked familiar. But then again, I don't even really know what it was I thought it was.
Maybe by that. Was you saying you had some kind of similarity to her? Or at least beforehand?
It was nothing. Don't worry about it.
Let me insight check.
It's
Zale's just like, all I know is worry.
Yeah, right now I'm like worried. 23.
Don't look at me like that. Listen,
Mm.
anything I thought was going on with your wife, it was nothing. It was me placing an idea on somebody else. I had no idea what I was talking.
And looks up at him.
I've never really meant. I've never really been meant to be. life often serves to remind me of that. Truth is, I've never known exactly who I am. I've had a lot of ideas, and a lot of other people have had ideas. No one has ever had answers. You know what that does to a person?
So it kind of looks
You
and
start seeing things in other people. They start seeing connections or familiarities, red flags in every person they pass by. Another confirmation of the theory. Theories are worthless. Experience is the only thing that you can trust. Experience and intuition. When you start forming theories, you can think your way into believing all kinds of things. Whatever I said about your wife, it was a theory built on nothing. In a moment of being uncertain. So don't read into it.
the
And starts to peek out, and he's like, no bite this morning.
no,
And goes up the line.
seem to have no time. But no, I actually understand where you're coming from, Martha. No, I'm not overthinking it. There's you asked me a week ago, I would have told you that, sometimes theories are key, but I think I'm starting to understand what you mean through experience and intuition. Hell, you can make a theory that you make yourself believe in, and then for all of it just to fall apart when something out of nowhere that you weren't had planned for comes. So, no, I think I understand where you come from with this. No, I'm not overthinking what you say. Just want to make sure you're okay. You
He
are.
closes up his tackle box and stands up holding it and the fishing rod, gives you a pat on the shoulder, nod. It's like, let's
So,
go talk to the flying guard. Breakfast first.
yeah, that sounds lovely. But I mean, the hotel had a really good food, by the way. That suite was amazing.
Mm. His stomach growls. Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Am I hearing? What am I hearing right now from you?
Sunlight comes on. You're hearing impatience.
Well, let's go. Let's eat. And have a conversation with the authority. That should be fun.
Yeah, if we play this right, we should come out with a paycheck. Though there is always the chance that we could end up in jail.
I mean, been jailed once.
We should have a good breakfast.
Yeah, jail food actually doesn't really taste that good.
Very lazily doing her training outside, and then goes to water plants as you guys head over to breakfast.
Bebot's probably talking to Eliza. And it's like, I promise, I'm just going to talk to the police. I will be back.
Zarman, roll me a d20 and add your proficiency modifier.
Oh,
Shit, I'm not on there.
Eliza could go with you, I bet.
I mean, I assumed that they just wanted the people who were there, kind of thing.
Oh.
Eliza just waits out in the waiting room.
She's very anxious.
She's at that point.
what's so is this you want me to roll it for you, Mike?
1d20 plus 3.
13.
Yeah, you make a good breakfast. You know, the eggs come out well. They're not too dry or anything. Like, it's a good comprehensive breakfast. You know, definitely seems like you could do this, you know, consistently and make really good breakfast every morning. You've gotten the technique and stuff down. You haven't quite figured out how to put the heart into it yet, you know. That comes after a little while when you've gained true proficiency. But so your ability score doesn't apply to your cooking for the time being, but your proficiency does, because you've done it enough to know how to read the instructions and follow them through. And your process is very measured.
Still slightly nervous about it. And the eggs know you're nervous about it. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you serve up a really good hearty breakfast that feeds this whole motley crew of people that come in. Willem and Maya and Kelly end up arriving for breakfast. Doorbell rings and Thea opens the door and excitedly welcomes them in. They come through a little beaded curtain into the kitchen, and Zarman, you've just kind of helped plate up everybody's food one after the other, and after that, people just kind of go back and forth for seconds so that whole pot is cleaned out, and y'all are ready to take on your day. The four of you prepare to head out for the day. Are there any other last things you would like to do before heading to the Garden District?
While they go talk to the guardsman, we'll do the hour of training with Gwen before getting ready to go to Fedric's after Zale comes back.
Okay.
Zell will take his wedding band off and then make it kind of like a little kind of necklace around it, so he'll wear it so it's underneath.
Oh, seeing that, seeing that, Hannah's like, "Oh shit! Yeah, wait, Arthur!" She'll half yell. Guess what? I also made you a gift, and she'll slowly take it, just pull it out of her pocket. I was like half awake that whole night, but here. And it is the shark teeth, like the remaining shark teeth, because she's used it before and with certain other gifts that Zarman had caught months ago, are there. But then it's small pebbles, really interesting looking pebbles that she thinks would be Arthur's color. She made little holes into them. And then in the middle of it would be a water genasi symbol of the fishhook, which I think I've sent it to you before, but I can send the whole thing. And which has the meaning of strength, prosperity, abundance, and respect for the sea.
Looks ferocious.
Yep.
Yawning.
Yeah, there you go. And she hands it over.
He unclasps it and he puts it around, and as he kind of clears it around his collar, you see that he's actually got another necklace underneath that actually has a similar golden band around it. A very simple chain, probably silver, a golden band on a silver chain, And he puts that other necklace of yours on, and then laces up his collar again, and
It's that subtle anime moment of all of a sudden zoom into the eyes, looking to the side. And then she'll look back to Arthur, give him a wise nod, stretch out, and then
Just thinking about it, I
make a
think I actually need to get new clothes. All my clothes blew up.
Yeah, it's a terrible feeling, isn't it, Zale?
I mean, it is pretty terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
but I got money to get
Here.
stuff.
Let me get my fancy clothes on. And she'll walk over because she still has her hobo outfit, and then she just wears her outfit.
y'all go morning shopping to buy some new clothes before going to your meeting.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like Babette would want not bullet-riddled clothing.
Yeah, and Zell's
Good
kind of wearing
thinking.
like hand-me-downs basically right now. All his clothes got fucking blown up.
Honey's wearing her fancy clothing that she wore for the Marvestes ball, which is just basically her Gramps' outfit that he's been portrayed in so many pictures of. So she has an authentic looking Storm General outfit on. She's like, yeah, I'll go clothes shopping later in the week. Spent way too much energy buying clothes for my owl, so just in case.
Yeah, and while we're all getting ready, Babette would, noticing Eliza's just like stress. If you want, you can wait while we go and talk to them, and after we can go get coffee, and I can actually tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll calm you down.
That would be great. Be safe.
I always try.
Oh, wait. Does Eliza want to drive us in her car? I'm gonna go peek out.
Oh, that might actually make things much easier.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
still pretty sore. Sleeping in crates is not my favorite.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, thank you.
I need to change them. Once I need to change out things built in, my new one, so that would be helpful.
Probably swing by to drop us, to drop them off to get some clothes shopping. Hannah will stay in the car because she's all decked out. She'll be like, Babette really held her ground over there, but she was definitely fighting to see you again.
I'm glad you guys made it back.
Yeah. I know it's very nerve-wracking not having these answers, and if I was able to send a message over, I would have sent you something to say that she was okay, but I can't imagine what you felt hearing that on the news.
It's okay. I've spent a lot of time alone, and now having her back and having met you guys, I don't want to be alone again. And I really care about you guys.
She'll give a sad smile to you. You've noticed that Hannah doesn't smile a lot, but this one seems genuine. And the time she does, she's either about to play a practical joke on Zale. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna make sure nothing separates us. Being alone is never good.
Excuse me while I fucking cry. Sorry.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
But Zell comes back in the outfit I sent before in Picturation. So Zell looks pretty dapper now. He looks very steampunk now
And
than what he had before.
she'll catch you. She'll ask questions about how your sisters were, and also send my regards to your mom, because those pals were amazing.
Yeah, I'll send her a message.
Okay.
I'm hoping to hear from them about my dad.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. If you want, I can look into the matter a little bit. We can mark it on the map and all this other stuff. And then she just thinks about crazy ideas of, what could this mean? I can look up local legends.
Yeah.
Honey.
What?
Calm down.
What? Oh, sorry.
Well, I was thinking that I should maybe check out the library, or I don't know. I don't know where to start, but
We can help.
maybe I can find some information on a local witch.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as you liked to tease me for being the one who hated libraries, I actually do occasionally have to look up shit like that. I might be able to help you find at least a place to start.
Many
If you
hands make lighter
researching.
work.
Yeah.
So-
And if you need help researching, I might be busy soon, but if you need help, I will be totally fine helping you.
Yeah, I'd appreciate all the help I can get.
Yeah, say the one. If you're all ready now, let's.
Talk to
Help
the
me.
cops.
Yes, hope this goes well. Honey, you're talking, right? I am not
Yep.
confident.
Yeah. I got it. Got enough information, I'll make an official statement.
Let's begin.
Maybe the two who weren't there doing criminal activities should do the talking. You know, we weren't counting cards after all. And Babette looks at Zale.
Ha ha ha, very funny. What were you and Arthur doing when you were gone?
Enjoying the casino.
Yeah. Just gets in the car. There's a look of like, sure, buddy.
Eliza's just like rolling her eyes.
Like, yeah, sure, Babette, you weren't there for any criminal activity.
We all know.
Babette's being a shit, and she knows you all know, but she's still being a shit.
Yeah. So, get in the car and go ahead and go see the cops. Equivalent of the cops. The cops in this world are the cops in Alpha are very, very fancy though with a golden fucking armor.
You arrive in Mont Desjardins. It's whitewashed alabaster and marble buildings are grandiose and meant to inspire awe. Every tree here is like perfectly spaced apart and blooming, even despite the fact that it is currently winter. Or outside of this district, the winds of the lake can sometimes be quite chilly. And the pluckings of fall have already begun to strip the leaves bare in most of the other districts. Mont Desjardins is trapped in spring and summer, that perfect space in between. And as you make your way up the great steps where the other day there had actually been protests going on, they're now mostly empty. You see a cluster of people that are gathered around somebody that is currently standing on a podium on one of these big leveled steps in front of this grandiose courtroom. And talking about how Valente was pretty much just the tip of the iceberg as far as corruption goes in this place, and how the people have heard it enough. There's about 30 or so people around them, a pretty sizable group, but not anything like the thousands you had seen covering these steps the other day, or last week, rather. And you walk on past them. You do notice, however, that the person's got like a group of people that are kind of like watching like security around them as they kind of give their podium speech, and they've all got red bandanas. I don't recognize you or anything. They just seem to be like, standing in front of the podium and stuff in case there's any like counter protesters or anything like that. But they mostly just seem bored, and also some of them are listening to the speech rather than doing their job of guarding, right? And you guys walk on past them up the steps, and there's a there's like a handful of pillars at the top of the steps that open into a grand open foyer. And there are 3 cascading like waterfalls, mountains rather, that spill down with steps in between each of them, heading down to the center room. And you can see that from here there is a kind of almost like theater-like seating that opens around the rest of the waterfall. There's currently only like a handful of people out here eating lunch, right?
Mhm.
Go ahead and give me a history check. Anybody walking through there right now?
Alright.
Right. I can
Plus
roll.
4.
+7.
Would Babette be able to? Because
Yep, you could
I'll
do
be
it.
3.
Got 17.
You get a bit of advantage.
25.
Ooh.
25%.
I don't know if Eliza can roll or not, but I'm not on Foundry because my computer's being done
It's not
right now.
working pretty much right now, anyone. So give me
Yeah.
a second. I have your stats somewhere, so I can go for it.
So that'd be no. Plus proficiency 12.
Okay.
I cannot roll today. This does not bode well for my session.
I'm actually rolling really well today for some reason. I rolled 2 18s already.
Alright, so we
Yeah,
got
get fucked.
Yeah, it's 6:30, guys. By the way, for those of y'all that had
Just
things
about,
going at
sure.
other games.
Do we want to maybe pick up this tomorrow at some point?
And we can pick it up tomorrow or later tonight if anybody's around. We're still in the energy for it. Just
Yeah.
wondering.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm probably be able to do it later tonight anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, regardless, tomorrow I'd like to do the coffee date with Sarah or with Eliza and Babette.
Yeah.
That's going to be painfully awkward, and I'm so excited for it.
I will be.
I'll be done with. Sorry.
No, you go. You go, sir.
I'll be done with my other game at like 9:30. So.
Yeah, that's about when I'm done my game too. So we'll see how emotionally devastated I am, because my character is still on 3 levels of exhaustion, and her mom just died in her arms. So.
Just warlock things. It's fine. It's okay.
My other character had a slod like embedded in her, and she had to cross she had to travel up a mountain and save someone from yetis, and it turned out to be a cleric who could heal her. So no one else in her party knew that she had the slod, and she just randomly woke